Good morning, grade 5 mathletes. Welcome to week 6 of the Valenzuela Live in Mathematics 5. I am your teacher for today, Elizabeth R. Aguilar of Malinta Elementary School. I am excited to give you our new lesson for today. Are you ready, mathletes? But before that, I want you to do the following so your teacher will recognize your attendance and participation. First, type in your complete name, grade and section, your subject teacher, and your school in the comment box. Second, if you like to answer during our discussion, simply type in your answer. And if you have questions about the lesson discussed, you may also type in your question before the session ends. All right. So in today's lesson, you will able to divide decimals with up to 2 decimal places and divide whole numbers with quotients in decimal form. Okay, but before that, let's have our story time. Are you ready to hear a story? Great. Now, let's start. The title of our story is Letty the Fashionista. Click, click, click. A sound heard from the camera of Letty's smartphone. She loves to take picture of her OOTD or the outfit of the day and upload it to her Instagram account. She is so creative in mixing and matching clothes that she got from the ukay-ukay store. Because of being a fashionista and a model of different outfits, her Instagram followers arise. They admired her on how she carries cheap yet elegant dresses. Many of them send private messages or even sending comments on how much or how to avail her collections. Due to a high demand for her followers, Letty decided to open a boutique to showcase her collections. Many of her customers order customized blouses with red ribbons as an accent. So, she buys 9,500 meter of red ribbon, which she cut into pieces. If each piece measured 500 meter, then she thinks on how many pieces of ribbon were cut. Okay, so do you like the story for today? Well, I hope that you enjoyed listening. So I have here questions. Number 1, do you like to post your OOTD in any social media account just like Letty? Great. Well, there's nothing wrong in posting in any social media account. Just make sure that you check your privacy setting. And just like Letty, you can make a living out of your hobbies. For number 2, if you were Letty, what would you do to find the number of ribbons she can cut? That's great. We can use division to know the number of ribbons she can cut. So, for our warm-up activity, I want you to divide the following. Okay, so I will give you 3 seconds to answer each number. For number 1, we have 28 divided by 4. Okay, 3 seconds. All right, what's your answer? Great. The correct answer is 7. How about number 2? 42 divided by 7. All right? Okay, the correct answer is? That's great. It's 6. Okay, for number 3, 55 divided by 5. What's your answer? Okay, so the correct answer is 11. Very good, mathletes. And for number 4, 77 divided by 11. Okay, what's your answer? That's right, it's 7. And for number 5, we have 89 divided by 9. Okay, so what's your answer? Very good, it's 9. So did you get the correct answer? Great, congratulations, mathletes. You are all amazing. Okay, for our problem today, we have Letty buys 9,500 meters of red ribbon, which she cut into pieces. If each piece measured 5 meters, how many pieces of ribbon were cut? But before that, let's answer this question. Okay, so what are the given facts? Great, so we have 9,500 meters of red ribbon and 500 meters. For the next question, what operation should be used? Very good, it's division. And we have the length of the ribbon. We have 9,500 meters. The length of each piece is 500 meters. And the number of pieces of ribbon that can be cut is the unknown. So let's solve. So we will divide 9,500 by 500. So we have 9,500 divided by 500 is equal to n, where n is the number of pieces of ribbon that can be cut. So step 1, you have to multiply the divisor and dividend by 100 to make the divisor a whole number. So we have here 9,500 times 100 is equal to 95. And for our divisor, we have 500 times 100 is equal to 5. So based from that example, so how come that our divisor and our dividend become a whole number? All right, great. So we have another way or alternate process for that. We will just move the decimal point of the dividend and divisor to the right as many as the number of decimal places in the divisor, just like this. So we need to make the divisor to a whole number. So we need to move 2 places to the right to make our divisor a whole number. So we also need to move our dividend 2 places to the right. Okay, so let's move the decimal place. We have 1, 2. So this time, it will become 95 divided by 5. Okay, then for step 2, we have to divide as whole numbers. So we are going to use the process in dividing whole numbers. All right, so we have 95 divided by 5. So we can divide 9 divided by 5. We have 1. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. Then 9 minus 5 is equal to 4. Then we need to bring down 5. All right, then let's repeat the process. 45 divided by 5 is equal to 9. 9 times 5 is equal to 45. And 45 minus 45 is equal to 0. Then for step 3, we are going to check if the product of the quotient and the divisor is equals the dividend. Okay, so we have here our quotient is 19 and our divisor is 5. Then 19 times 5 is equal to 95. So that's our dividend. So it means that our answer is correct. Therefore, there are 19 pieces of ribbons cut by Letty out of 9,500 meters. All right. So let's have another example. We have here 2 and 4/10 divided by 6/10. Okay, step 1, we are going to change the divisor and dividend to whole numbers. So what we are going to do, we're going to multiply it by 10. Why we use 10? Because the decimal place of our divisor is only 1. So we are going to use the 10. All right, so 6/10 times 10 is equal to 6. And so with the dividend, if you multiply the divisor by 10, you need also to multiply the dividend by 10. So we have here 2 and 4/10 times 10 is equal to 24. Then for the next step, or we have the alternate process, we have here 2 and 4/10 divided by 6/10. So we just need to move the divisor, move the decimal point in the divisor to one decimal place, going to the right to make it a whole number. So with the dividend, so we are going to move also the decimal point to the right. All right, so this time it will become 24 divided by 6. So 24 divided by 6 is equal to, all right, so let's have first the step 2. So divide as whole numbers. 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. Then for step 3, do not forget to check your answer. Check if the product of the quotient and divisor equals the dividend. Okay, so let's check. We have our quotient 4 and our divisor is 6. So 4 times 6 is equal to 24. So that's our dividend. So it means that our answer is correct. Thus, 2 and 4/10 divided by 6/10 is equal to 4. All right, did you understand our lesson? Great, so let's see if you really understand our lesson. Now, let's have this activity called DIY or divide it yourself. So I want you to find the quotient. So I will give you 30 seconds for you to answer each number. So for number 1, we have here 7 and 2/10 divided by 4/10. Okay, 30 seconds. All right, time is up. What's your answer? Okay, let's see if your answer is correct. So we have here, we need to move the decimal point to the right, one decimal place only, to make our divisor a whole number. So with our dividend, we need also to move the decimal point to the right, one place only, one decimal place only. So it will become 72 divided by 4. So the correct answer is 18. Okay, did you get the correct answer? Great, grade 5 mathletes. So now let's go to number 2. For number 2, we have 42 hundredths divided by 6 hundredths. Okay, I will give you 30 seconds. All right, time is up. So what's your answer? Okay, let's see if your answer is correct. So again, we need to make our divisor to whole number. So we need to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So we have 1, 2. Then, so with the dividend, we need also to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Since we move 2 places in the divisor. Okay, so we have 1, 2. So this time, it will become 42 divided by 6. So 42 divided by 6 is equal to? Great, it's 7. All right, did you get it? That's great. How about the next number? 8 and 1/10 divided by 9/10. Okay, 30 seconds. All right, time is up. So again, we are going to make our divisor to whole number first. So we need to move 1 decimal place to the right. So with our dividend, we need to move the decimal point to the right. So it will become 81 divided by 9. So 81 divided by 9 is equal to 9. All right, that's great. So let's go to the next number. So we have here 1 and 45 hundredths divided by 5 tenths. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, time is up. So this time we are going to make the divisor to whole number by moving 1 place, by moving the decimal point 1 place to the right. So with the quotient, we need to move the decimal point 1 place to the right. So this time it will become 14 and 5 tenths divided by 4. Okay, so the answer is 2 and 9 tenths. Did you get it? Very good, mathletes. Now, for our last number, we have here 71 and 30 hundredths divided by 2 and 3 tenths. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, time is up. So we have here 71 and 30 hundredths divided by 2 and 3 tenths. Again, do not forget to make the divisor to whole number by moving the decimal point to the right. So we need to move 1 decimal point. Okay, so with our dividend, we also need to move the decimal point 1 decimal place to the right. So this time, it will become 713 divided by 23. So the correct answer is 31. That's great. Grade 5 mathletes. Okay, did you get the correct answer? Congratulations, grade 5 mathletes. So this time, we have to divide whole numbers with quotients in decimal forms. So I have here another problem. Letty and her 3 friends earned 2,585 pesos from the boutique. They want to divide it equally. Now, how much will be received by each of them? Okay, but for that, before we'll solve that problem, let's answer this question. What is asked in the problem? Very good. So we need to find the amount to be received by Letty and her 3 friends. How about the next question? What are the given facts? Okay, that's right. The given facts are 2,585 pesos and Letty and her 3 friends. Okay, we have another question. What operation shall be used? That's right. We are going to use division. Okay, for our solution, we have to divide 2,585 divided by 4. Why 4? Because it includes Letty and her 3 friends. Okay, so bear with me as we solve these big numbers. Okay, so we have here, first step, or we are going to follow the process. We have here, you are going to divide first, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Okay, so let's start. We have, since we cannot divide 2 divided by 4, we are going to use 5 also, the digit 5. So it will become 25 divided by 4 is equal to 6. Then the next step is to multiply. 6 times 4 is equal to 24. Then 25 minus 24, we have here 1. Okay, then bring down 8. So let's repeat the process. 18 divided by 4 is equal to 4. Then we have to multiply. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. Then the next step, we have to subtract. 18 minus 16 is equal to 2. Then we have to bring down 5. Again, let's repeat the process. We have here 25 divided by 4 is equal to 6. Then 6 times 4 is equal to 24. Then let's subtract. 25 minus 24 is equal to 1. But we have still a remainder. So all we need to do is to continue the process. But before that, we have to put first the decimal point in our dividend as well as in our quotient. Then we have to write 0 in our dividend. Then bring down 0, so it will become 10. So let's divide. 10 divided by 4 is equal to 2. Then 2 times 4 is equal to 8. Then we have to subtract. 10 minus 8 is equal to 2. But we have still a remainder. So what are we going to do? Okay, we are going to write another 0 in our dividend. Then we are going to bring down the 0. So it became 20. So 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. Then 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Then subtract. 20 minus 20 is equal to 0. So this time our remainder is already 0. So we can stop. So 2,585 divided by 4 is equal to 646 and 25 hundredths. Therefore, Letty and her 3 friends will receive 646 pesos and 25 centavos each. All right, so I hope that you follow with me. Okay, we have here another example. 2 divided by 4. So since we cannot divide 2 to 4, we have to put 0 in our quotient first. And then we need to put first, before writing the 0 in our dividend, we have to put first the decimal point in our dividend as well as in the quotient. So do not forget that if you put a decimal point in our dividend, you need also to write the decimal point in our quotient. So this time we can now write 0. So it will become 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. Then 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Then subtract. 20 minus 20 is equal to 0. So since our remainder is already 0, we will stop. Okay, so 2 divided by 4 is equal to 5/10. Okay, did you get it? Now, let's see if you really get our lesson. So, it's your turn, grade 5 mathletes, to answer activity number 2. It is also called DIY or divide it yourself. So, I want you to find the quotient of the following. So, I will give you 30 seconds each number. So, number 1, we have 3 divided by 4. Timer starts now. All right, time is up. Okay, so let's divide 3 divided by 4. Since we cannot divide 3 by 4, we need to put the 0 first in our quotient. Then, we put decimal point in our dividend. So, with our quotient, do not forget that, then we can now write 0. So, it will become 30 divided by 4 is equal to 7. Then 7 times 4 is equal to 28. Then 30 minus 28 is equal to 2. But this time, we have still a remainder. So we need to put another 0 in our dividend. Then bring down the 0, so it became 20. So 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. Then 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Then 20 minus 20 is equal to 0. So this time our remainder is already 0. So our answer is 75 hundredths. Did you get the correct answer? Very good, mathletes. Okay, now let's go to the next number. We have here 2 divided by 8. So I will give you 30 seconds for you to answer this. All right, time's up. So 2 divided by 8 is equal to? Okay, let's see if your answer is correct. So again, since we cannot divide 2 by 8, we need to put 0 in the quotient. Then we need to put the decimal point in the dividend. So with the quotient, do not forget that. Then we can now write 0. Then this time, we can divide 20 divided by 8 is equal to 2. Then 2 times 8 is equal to 16. 20 minus 16 is equal to 4. So this time, we still have a remainder. So we need to put 0 in our dividend. Then bring it down. So 40 divided by 8 is equal to 5. Then 5 times 8 is equal to 40. So we will subtract 40 minus 40 is equal to 0. So our remainder is already 0. So our final answer is 25 hundredths. Did you get it? Very good. Okay, let's go to the next number. Number 3. 12 divided by 5. Okay, I will give you another 30 seconds for this. All right, time's up. So 12 divided by 5 is equal to? Okay, let's solve. So 12 divided by 5 is equal to 2. 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Then 12 minus 10 is equal to 2. Since we still have a remainder, we need to add another 0. We need to write another 0 in the dividend. But before that, we need to put the decimal point first in our dividend, so in our quotient. Okay, then this time we can put 0. Right, so bring it down. Then it will become 20. 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. Then 20 minus 20 is equal to 0. So our remainder is already 0. And our final answer is 2 4/10. Did you get it? Very good, grade 5 mathletes. Okay, now let's go to number 4. We have here 18 divided by 4. Okay, 30 seconds. All right, so time is up. So we have here 18 divided by 4. Let's solve it together. We have here 18 divided by 4 is equal to 4. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. Then 18 minus 16 is equal to 2. This time, we still have a remainder. So all we need to do, before writing the 0, we need to put the decimal point first. Do not forget that. As well as we also write the decimal point in our quotient. And then write the 0. Then bring the 0 down. Then this time, we can now divide. 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. Then 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Then 20 minus 20 is equal to 0. So our remainder is already 0. So our final answer is 4 5/10. Did you get it? Very good. Okay, for our last number in our activity, we have 20 divided by 25. So I'll give you another 30 seconds to solve this number. All right, time is up. So let's solve it together. Let's see if your answer is correct. We have 20 divided by 25. Since we cannot divide 20 by 25, we need to put first 0 in our quotient. Then we will put first the decimal point in our dividend. So within our quotient, we need to write also the decimal point above the dividend. Then let's write 0. Okay, this time we can now divide. We have 200 divided by 25 is equal to 8. Then 8 times 25 is equal to 200. Then 200 minus 200 is equal to 0. All right, since our remainder is already 0, then that's our final answer. So our final answer is? Great, it's 8/10. All right, did you get it? Did you get the perfect score, grade 5 mathletes? Congratulations. Now, let's have a recap. Or I want you to remember this. Dividing decimals with up to decimal places, we need to make the divisor a whole number by multiplying both divisor and dividend by a power of 10, or just simply move the decimal point to the right to make the divisor a whole number. Do the same process in the dividend. Then next, we have divide as whole numbers. You need to follow the process, divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down until all the digits are used. And in dividing whole numbers with quotients in decimal forms, we have here, put a decimal point in the quotient directly above the dividend. If the remainder is a non-zero, write 0 to the right of the dividend. And of course, you have to repeat the division process. All right, so I guess you learned a lot today. So let's go to our question and answer. If you have questions, please type it in the comment box. All right, we have one question here. So our question is, what is the difference between dividing whole numbers and dividing decimal numbers? All right, so in dividing whole numbers, we don't need to move the decimal point to make the divisor a whole number because it is already a whole number. While in dividing a decimal number, we need to make the divisor to whole number by moving the decimal point to the right. Okay? So I guess we don't have any question left. So I want you to answer your self-learning module in mathematics assessment on page 22. This will be your assignment. All right, so thank you so much for listening. Again, I am Mrs. Elizabeth R. Aguilar from Malinta Elementary School. Always keep safe by staying at home. Keep healthy. See you next time. Bye!